Okay, we're back. And I'm just going to go straight to the rest of the dungeon. Most of this is just going to be me tabbing through this stuff. We're significantly overpowered for this part of the game. So we can more or less just hit O, hit tab, and be pretty happy about what we're doing. Let's walk up to this Cyclops, though. Now this vampire can still confuse us, but only has 7% rather chance, thanks to our hat, which gives us MR, and the fact that we've leveled up a bit, which gives us more MR. Your MR will increase by level, more or less depending on what race you are. Spriggans, for example, get a ton of MR every level. Humans less so. We've identified our Wand of Clouds now. That's a nice plus. Let's go ahead, I think, and... we won't drop the stones. We'll wear this ring. We'll drop it. It's stealth. Having a bit of an inventory management problem, so we want to keep an eye on this. Looks like we found a Wand of Confusion. That's nice. This is fine for now. What a nice Gozag altar. Too bad it's not one of the ones with the shop that's usually labeled something like Gozag's Platinum Reserve, which has very expensive, interesting items. Just a generic Gozag shop with statues made of gold. We got an IceCv on this floor, unless it's a mimic. So we'll go ahead and we will magic map. And we'll head over here. Reading some scrolls of Identify that we find on the floor along the way. Now we still do not, unfortunately, we do not have any cold resistance. We just found protection from Magic Ring. That's a nice swap on. We'll drop Scrolls of Amnesia, turn them off as far as pickup goes. We aren't really casting yet, if ever. Now I'm gonna pop on the Scarf of Cloud immunity. This is a relatively new item, and because IceCv has those obnoxious ice clouds, it'll be really nice for us to have an ability to avoid that. And let's go ahead and use this scroll. I just want to find out what it is. Okay, it's noise. Great, that means I can drop it. Kind of figured it would be something like that, since, well, how many scrolls do we really have left here? Acquirement, brand weapon, and formerly noise. Wasn't too concerned about wasting a brand weapon since we had a stack. Pretty much figured it was noise. And we'll drop the Scroll of Enchant Armor. We're not going to turn off pickup on it. I'm just keeping my inventory clear since we don't have anything to enchant. That gives us 3 slots to fill up inside here. Okay, good. We got the Animal Cave, which means we can more or less tab through this stuff with Vampirism. You notice we just don't care about these clouds because of the Scarf of Cloud immunity. Some news in my life. I am writing a book. Kind of a fantasy novel. I'm about 10,000 words in. Apparently your average fantasy novel goes to about 100K. So maybe I'll shill for that a little bit in these videos once it's actually done. Hopefully someone will appreciate it. We'll get some entertainment out of it. Not sure when I'll be done. Sort of an interesting thing writing. It confuses me a little bit because I've noticed that in about an hour I average maybe 1,000 words. More or less, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. And it makes me wonder how, like, G.R.R. Martin, for instance, can spend 10 years trying to push out a book. But, I mean, that's not accounting for making things fit in a book series of, like, 6 or 7. You know. And not... Oh, hold on, let's pay attention to the game for a second here. Let's quaff resistance, and then we'll quaff rage, and we'll just swing on him. I'm quaffing resistance just because I don't want to, in case he decides to spam the blast on us, I don't want to eat like 75 damage from that. Berserk doesn't guarantee that we'll kill it, but it gives us a pretty high chance. And even if we berserked and failed, as long as we're resisting, it's unlikely that he'll just outright kill us before the berserk ends. Of course, we could pass out. That would be unfortunate. Ring of Ice, we now have access to cold resistance without paying for it. That's nice. I don't even care what that plate armor is. It's probably cold resist. But my artifact body armor is better. I don't particularly care about those staves either. It looks like this is going to be a more or less spell-less run. I don't recommend going spell-less, by the way, in the general case. There are good spells out there, if you find them, like Regenerate. If you find it, low-level spells that you get a lot of work out of, like Animate Skeleton. We haven't really found anything like that, so that's kind of the reason why we are going spell-less for the time being. But man, if you find that Animate Skeleton and you do it early, let me tell you, it is worth the investment by far. But yeah, what I was saying about the book is, based on my own speed, it does seem a little surprising that it takes so long sometimes, but then again, I probably shouldn't compare myself to a guy who's like a hajillionaire from writing books. I imagine he has a better idea of how it's done than me. But I find that it's a kind of a fun, relaxing thing to do. And as a hobby, I mean, I'm not trying to make a living off of it or anything, but as a hobby, writing is really satisfying for me because it's something that you get like a tangible benefit out of it, even if I only make like a couple $100 off the thing. And really, that's about what you're gonna get off of a book. If you write something, especially as a new author, you're just not gonna make much money. People think they can make a living off writing, but chances are good you can't. But as a hobby, as like a generative hobby, something where you're making something, you're not consuming something, you're making it. That's the kind of thing I'm into. Really into hobbies like that. Sorry if I'm getting a little off topic from the game here. I mean, you're gonna have me when I'm just tabbing through and there's not a lot to talk about. I'll probably go off on tangents a bit in these videos. Just kind of tell you a little bit about me. Feel free to mute the video if you aren't interested. Maybe at some point I will make like a highlights, like put timestamps maybe in the video description of rough situations. This would be a good candidate. Here we are 9 minutes and 50 seconds in, and we've auto-explored into a teleport trap. I hate teleport traps, but this isn't so bad. Let's just get to the hallway and tab this stuff. But I mean, if this was like a 12-headed Hydra, perhaps. Oh, did I drop my Amulet of Rage? Shouldn't have done that. Let's just quaff. We can kill this guy with Rage. Rage is a very good thing to have in potion or amulet form. Let's pick that back up. I'm trying to inventory manage so hard, I'm dropping everything. Quite a lot of good stuff here I don't want to get rid of. In fact, I see uses for all of this. Part of it is that I'm carrying so much permafood and I just don't really want to drop it. Oh, hey, what am I doing? I can drop the Ring of Resist Corrosion for as long as I'm wearing the chainmail because I've already got it. Whew, this is an interesting vault. Dead Minotaurs, this is like the... This is the sirloin steak vault, I guess. This would probably be really handy if you had, if you were worshipping Red, or if you had Animate Skeleton or Animate Dead. I imagine Minotaurs make pretty good derived undead. Nothing really important on this floor. Interesting hunting sling. We don't want it, but if we had found that early, that might have been worth using. Check out this Ring of Strength. It's bad. Even if it was +6, I probably wouldn't wear it. Uh-oh. Okay, we've got something interesting going on here. We've got a Rolcha, and she has Banish and Crystal Spear. I'm not real concerned about her in melee, though, so this is a perfect candidate for a Silent Scroll. And now we don't have to worry about any of her garbage. Let's see, do we want to pop on the Rage and use it? I think we just want to swing. No, we'll Rage. Now we can hit so many more times. And we're just going to take her out. Do tons of damage. Whoa, whoa. Oh no, now I'm slowed. I'm going to try to swing on this. I'll fear... Oh no, this is actually pretty bad. Because we're silenced, we can't use any scrolls. Let's Agility. Just in case. Two-headed Ogre, we have pretty good defenses now. We should be fine. Probably would have been fine without that, but we're slow, and just... When I'm slow next to something that does good damage, I'm generally willing to spend a little bit of effort, or resources rather, a little bit of resources to just guarantee that I'm not going to have a rough time. Found an artifact helmet. It's good. It's really good. Not terribly great for what we're trying to do here, but I'll take the RC+. On the other hand, my MR is not great without it, without my hat. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep it in our inventory as much as I don't want to in terms of inventory space. We're going to keep it in our inventory, and once we have better MR, we're going to pop it on. The only reason I'm keeping it on me is I don't want to forget about it. There may be a way to inscribe something so that it shows up on the dungeon map, but I don't know. I just know I'll forget about it if I leave it somewhere outside of my inventory. Oh, we have a couple scrolls of Identify, but we have nothing to identify. That's nice to see. I also see this cloak here. Let's wear it. It's just a generic +2. Just looking at things with... If you search for Ego, you can see things that are enchanted but are not an artifact. I like to do that from time to time in case I've missed something. It doesn't look like I have. We found the Orcish Mines, but we're gonna finish out the dungeon before we actually go get them. Before we go clear the mines, that is. Gozag, it seems, has shown us an interesting little ring of gold here. What is all this? Looks like we've got... Is this perhaps a treasure trove? Could it be? Yes, it is. What do you want? Oh, Slimy Rune of Zot. Okay, well, we'll be going slime this game. We'll be going slime this game, and we'll get a trove out of it. Show Slimy Rune of Zot. This is interesting. I like these ones because you don't actually have to give it anything, you just have to show it the rune. Sometimes it'll ask for some absurd thing like, gee, give me 6 scrolls of blinking. Well, no, because scrolls of blinking are, you know, probably the best item in the game unless you're a Formicid. The best thing for you to find in terms of keeping yourself alive. There's not a lot of situations that a blink scroll can't get you out of. It exists, but it's rare. Now, hey, animate dead. That might be worth picking up. What's the necro apt on these guys? -2 for Merfolk? Eh. But yeah, if a trove is asking for something like, give me 4 potions of haste, give me... Hey, we can tab hydras now without berserking. That's good. Yeah, like haste potions, blink scrolls. I can think of a few other items. You just wouldn't want to give it up, you know? Because the trove is just like... Think of it like a super acquirement. It's certainly possible for you to walk into that trove and walk out with nothing that you actually want. Gotta watch out for gargoyles, by the way. With our current setup, we have vampirism, and it's, you know, doesn't work against things that have negative resistance. Glaives are two-handed, by the way. I actually think, in general, it is optimal to go for a shield and a demon trident on these guys. But, I mean, if you do find a Bardich with, like, freezing, or a glaive with a good brand, it'll do the game for you. You know, it'll finish out the game for you. What am I going to do about Orbs of Fire, though? I'm not sure yet. Probably some combination of... Oh, I'm just tabbing away and there's an Ogre Mage here. That's not good. He can paralyze us, and that would be more or less instant death. So... Let's cloud him. There we go. Kind of ignoring the Basilisk because I'll know immediately if he's... I'll have a chance to do something about it if he petrifies me. Ogre Mage, on the other hand, just paralyzes, and then you're surrounded and killed. Getting into the tougher part of dungeon, the last floor, last couple floors. Run into Tengu and things here. Okay, so we were able to tab... We were able to tab the Hydra before. This one has a few more heads. Looks like we're doing okay. There we go. Ended up with 15 heads. Okay, we put on an amulet. We find Amulet of Faith, which would normally be awesome. But in this case, it's something we just don't care about, because Gozag, as a businessman, does not care about your amulet. He just wants gold. Go to this hallway, so we only have to fight one of these at once. Ugly things, especially if they're striking with an energy you aren't resistant to, are more than capable of killing you, even when you think you're immune. That was a shapeshifter we just killed in the Mamba, in the form of a Mamba. He was previously in the form of an unseen horror, which is why we were getting attacked by something we couldn't see. That's a monster that's rather obnoxious, in my opinion. Let's turn off Wands of Random Effect, Wands of Polymorph, and Wands of Flame. Those are things we're never going to want for the rest of the game. Not bad to have early on, but not terribly useful now. I'm tempted to... I'm just going to drop the Tomahawks, honestly. We're probably not going to train a ton of throwing, at least not yet. And I'm really just using the stones because I'm never going to run out. And it's just nice to get a little bit of damage as things approach you. But now I'm so concerned about inventory space, it's just like, eh. Okay, here we go. Wait, what's going on with my... Oh, okay, that's odd. I must have taken off one of my rings, because I didn't have fire resistance there. Now I do again. We'll use... Do we want an Amulet of Rage? We could still get blasted a lot with the ice. I think we want to rage. There we go. Yeah, this is okay. This is fine. Probably not going to miss a big fat dragon. Not the best defenses. Was it necessary to rage there? Probably not. In fact, I'm probably going to get myself killed overusing that amulet. I'm tempted to just drop it. In fact, I think I'm going to make a little mental note to myself not to use that anymore. Unless I really need to kill something, if it's like straight up necessary, because the game can absolutely make you miss 10 times in a row, and now I'm next to this dragon that's doing tons of ice damage to me. And I'm slowed, or maybe I'm paralyzed. Alright. We're 21 minutes into the video. I think we have plenty of time, and still keeping the video relatively short. We have plenty of time to hit up Orc, and so we're going to do that. However, now that we have this protection from magic, I'm going to pop it on in place of the Pro Fire, because the worst thing that can happen is we can get paralyzed. We have Urug here. Once he gets a little closer, I'm going to... Looks like I haven't seen anything here that will block me off from Orc. You want to be careful with this landing, though, because it certainly is possible. And we're making a lot of noise, or this situation is making a lot of noise. So I am going to cloud this. Just, you know, not necessarily something we had to do. Oh, we got Herald. We're going to paralyze him. Or try to. We don't want to be netted, but we have Scrolls of Fear if we get netted. There we go, now he's paralyzed. Let's finish him. I could have gone better. It was only a 38% chance to paralyze, but like I said, I mean, if I get netted, I fear. If I get firebolted for a lot of damage, I just try to go up, or I fear. I'm probably not going to get hit in the first place because my EV is good, but I'm just confident right now that my defenses and my resources, my consumables, are in a situation, they're in a state that I can handle these kinds of things going wrong. And that's kind of what this game is quickly being able to identify, like, well, am I in a rough spot right now? Am I in a dangerous situation right now? And it's not always easy. It's actually the opposite. It's actually quite easy to underestimate the situation you're in, or overestimate it. One fun thing about Gozag, by the way, is you can see gold everywhere on the floor, so we automatically know in Orc that there is a second floor before exploring much of anything. Let's finish this before we eat. Okay, Orc Sorcerer. So this is cool. Only 1% chance to paralyze. I wish that was 0%, but we're going to have to take what we can get. And we're going to treat this as a situation we're willing to use consumables on. So he gets blasted and blown up, and he turns into coins, like Scott Pilgrim. Just blowing up everywhere. We've got a pretty big army here, and I have so much in the way of recharge. I think I'm going to use a cloud to take out the sorcerer. Sorcerers are just not something I want to deal with. I'm going to treat that 1%. I'm going to treat that 1% like it's 100%. And so I'm going to minimize the number of turns, the number of chances they get to cast that on me. my assumption is going to be that if they can do it, or if they do it, it will succeed. Just like with this guy, actually. Will he go into the clouds? Sometimes he will. Let's disintegrate. Do we have the ogre end here? Okay, good. Ogre mage is dead. We're in a good spot. This is a good spot to fight. It's getting poisoned by our clouds, and we can swing on them as they come into us. This is all really nice. Polearms are by far the best weapon in the game, in my opinion. Melee weapon. Best melee weapon. I don't want to contradict myself. I've previously said bows are the best weapon in the game, and I stand by that. But if you're sticking just with melee, polearms really do win. It's just all about hitting things before they hit you. That extra hit. The ability to stand behind some deep water and kite things without resorting to throwing if you have a polearm and feel like doing that, you can. Being able to reach over allies if you have them. Oh, got an ogre mage. We'll cloud him. Has invisibility, that's a shame. Hopefully he dies to the clouds. I wish I had see invisible. This could be bad. If I get paralyzed, this could be quite bad. Let's teleport. Just preemptively. That may seem to you like it's a waste, but just the chance of being paralyzed, you're thinking, wow, 1%, it'll never happen until it does. And then you've got these guys with our ogre end. It seems like we've gotten sometimes Orc 2 will have ogres instead of orcs in the main shop area. And then all of a sudden you're wondering, like, gee, what do I do now? I'm paralyzed and there's two-headed ogres slapping me. Okay. Did that ogre just drink a potion of haste? I'm seeing things. No, he's hasted. Maybe he was hasted by the ogre mage. That particular, the regular ogre, not the ogre mage, was hasted. But yeah, as long as we're not paralyzed, we still have 20 EV. And so in combination with our 29 AC, we're not too worried about tabbing this stuff. But as soon as we get paralyzed, Oh wait, what am I doing? Why am I trying to paralyze him? He's got too much. He has too much MR. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if he does have paralyze, he's still, only one of the books has paralyze. Thankfully, it's not the one with Crystal Spear, but he still has Lightning Bolt. So there's nothing in the game that says he doesn't paralyze us and then proceed to Lightning Bolt us like 4 times in a row, or however long we're paralyzed. So even alone, okay, well, he doesn't have paralyze, so that's good. But still, it's just something to be aware of. And then on top of that, you add these dudes whose sole purpose in life is to hit you. You have 0 EV while you're paralyzed. Yeah, you still got the 29 AC, but is that enough? Maybe. This one doesn't have paralyze either. Good. It's an excellent change, by the way, that they started automatically showing you what book they have after you've seen them cast a spell or two. I mean, it's not too new of a change, but I thought that was great when they put that in. Let's look at the shops. Amulet of Regeneration, that's pretty good. I think I'd rather have Guardian Spirit, though, because then I have 25 hit points right off the bat. You would be hard-pressed to find a situation where, assuming you're not using your magic for something, I think Guardian Spirit is strictly better than Regeneration. Because, I mean, how long would it take for me to regenerate 25 hit points? Probably less time than the fight's going to last. Okay, nothing in here that we want. Wait, did I visit all the shops? Am I blind? Okay, we got food. We got Oh, auto pickup got turned off. Whoops. Okay, we got potions. We'll buy the ones that are nice. Okay. We could, like, speculatively, or not speculatively, but, like, preemptively buy potions of magic and kind of use them as ghetto potions of healing at this point because of our guardian spirit, but I don't think I'm that desperate, and I already have one. If I'm in a situation where I'm using a potion of magic, like a potion of healing, because of guardian spirit, I'm probably not in a good place. Oh man, I'll risk it. Okay, he's got Bolt of Fire. That means Crystal Spear. That means I really want to cloud him. Really? Okay, I don't think he can spear me from that far away. We're gonna kill him with rocks to the face. Don't let anybody tell you that stones can't do damage. We just took down half of his hit points via stones. Whoa! Hello! Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. 2 warlords. 2 warlords and a big ol' army. But nothing that can cause us serious issues going up and down stairs. So this is a good candidate for stair dancing. We're going to take out the low hit point things first because they're mited. 2 reasons. One, they're mited, and so they actually will do okay damage to us if they hit us, or they can anyway. And the other reason, Gozag makes more gold, and so we'll get more confusion from this guy. My instinct was to do something flashy like Immolate Scroll, like put on 2 resist fires. You want to... That's an urge, if you have it, you want to resist. You want to resist doing the thing that's fun and flashy and showboaty and fast. You want to resist the urge to do that unless you know it's not going to get you killed. Because what I wanted to do initially was I wanted to throw on the potion of the protection from fire, like quaff a resistance, read Immolate, and then just watch all that stuff explode, which, yeah, satisfying, but is it worth the risk of dying? I don't think so. But, I mean, if you prefer playing a little riskier and you have fun doing it, you know, by all means. The coolest thing about Dungeon Crawl is you play whatever way you want, man. It's a game that you just have a lot of options in the ways that you can play it. I like to play really careful, even if it becomes a little tedious sometimes. You know, that may not be the way that you enjoy the game. And I think that's kind of the mark of the way that Dungeon Crawl is successful in terms of game design, is that people who enjoy vastly different play styles can still enjoy it, and it doesn't feel like a watered-down experience, in my opinion. Okay, we're checking Orc real fast just to see what all is dropped. Looks like this is a little bit of a bust in terms of loot, but check it out. We're worshipping Gozag, so nothing is a bust. I mean, the coolest thing about Gozag is we're in here, we killed all this stuff, we didn't find anything other than a few potions and stuff to buy, but we got like thousands of gold. I mean, look at this. We got, in our piety, where piety would normally be, we've got 5,712 gold. That's a lot for Gozag. So we have Bribe Branch open to us. We're probably not going to need it. We could make some shops if we felt like it. We're probably going to make a shop. I usually don't like to. But all this stuff available for purchase is not terribly interesting to me. Okay, so first, before we do that, let's decide where we want to go. We could go to spider. We're gonna go to a lair branch, pretty much guaranteed. It's just, do we want to go to spider or shoals? Probably gonna pick spider because we have good AC. And we can purchase resist poison. Yeah. Spider should not give this character really any problems. Shoals could. Okay, so we're going to spider. So let's, first of all, before we do anything, do we want to buy that ring of poison? Well, hold on. First thing we're going to do here, instead, is let's call a merchant. Let's call our first merchant. We'll just make this little area around the lair entrance as our shop zone. We have so much gold to spare, we may as well. So boom. So here's how it works. Letter A will always be a food shop. That's in case you're starving. We're not, so that's not what we're going for. And then the rest will be randomized different types. I think, I'm not positive on this, but I think that if it says antique, you're more likely to have a bunch of artifacts. Which could be crap or they could be good. This is more likely to be mundane, I believe. But I'm not positive about that. I should probably check the code or whatever. I've been unable to find that out, actually. So these are, of course, weapon shops, and this is a distillery, which means potions. I have a pretty good weapon already, and there's no guarantee it's even going to have polearms in it, but the distillery will almost definitely have potions that I want. I mean, never have too many potions, right? So we're going to go for the distillery. I like to do the thing... When faced with a choice, I generally will choose the thing in this game. I will choose the thing that reduces the likelihood, or even eliminates the likelihood, of the RNG giving me a result I don't want. Now, you'll notice that if I want to call another merchant, it's now 1,000 gold, not 800. I do want to call one more merchant. Now we have a weapon emporium, another distillery, or a magic scroll emporium. This time I'm going to go for the scroll emporium because if there is, what do you call it? If there is acquirement in there, which there is not, but if there's acquirement in there that's a no-brainer, I'm going for gold because I get so much of it, you know, or I need so much of it. I won't necessarily get a lot of it. Got a lot of really good scrolls here. We'll buy pretty much all of them. Okay, so we have 3,900 gold left. I'm going to save enough on my person to bribe the branch if I need it. It's unlikely, but I might. So we're going to go buy the poison resistance. We're going to wear the poison resistance in place of the protection from magic. So 29 AC and resist poison. I think we're pretty well equipped. So we see the spider is on layer 3. We'll walk to it. And that's where I'll end the video. So until next time, see you then.